It is us once again here at the Emerald Dragon. Tonight, we are playing Tomb of Annihilation. And now I have to share some great words that just came to mind from a sage of sorts named Axel Rose. He said, "Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games. Do you know where you are? You're gonna die." All right. And with that, I will pass over the baton to you, Dungeon Master Paul. Take it away.
Motivated.
Please.
All right. Thank you, Brad, for that amazing introduction. Well, we had an amazing, crazy battle session, action-packed last time. As always, I would like us to, as a group, from your character's perspective, come up with a brief recap about what happened. What do we remember? It was a while ago.
Well, there was we climbed up a mountain on some shitty trail and we almost died a couple times.
Yeah, they really need to work on their upkeep. Get some civil engineers out there.
The
Yeah,
we's a little generalized.
that infrastructure is just, it makes it, I mean, I can understand why they haven't developed more. I mean, impossible for commerce.
I mean, I guess it's not that big of an issue because they were like 90% Aarakocra, so they can just fly in. But
right.
still, come on.
Come on, bird people. Think of the rest of us. Yeah, so we arrived at Kirsabal. We learned a lot of lore about the island of Chult, and we got attacked by gargoyles. And Garathor did a really epic thing with an immovable rod. Not the first time, I might add, that's happened. And we basically a movable rod blocked a giant gargoyle and ruined his whole day and killed him. And we're the best. And I think that's where we ended off.
Indeed. And we learned of the place on the map that I don't remember the name of because I'm a good player who takes notes and stuff.
Oh, did I have notes?
Which place are we referring to?
The one that we're going to go to that nobody's ever come back from.
The Garden of Nangalar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. See, this is actually part of my RP, playing a low wisdom character. They just don't really pay attention that much.
Some character, you know?
Well, from what Garathor remembers, he pretty much just used his immovable rod all day. It was just an excellent day for the rod. He saved people from death, going up bridges, did some acrobatic stuff to save people, and we finally made it up to the top. That's where we definitely hung out with bird people and learned that Ubtail, there was a fight between the gods and the primordials. The Nasi worship Dendar, who's a primordial. He swallowed the sun, and ice took over the earth. Ubtail, a primordial, betrayed Dendar and joined God. Dendar was then imprisoned in the peaks of flame, and sun returned. Ubtail was then given control of Chult and fused himself with the island. Both great cities angered Ubtail, and then the people of Chult turned to the 9 trickster gods rather than Ubtail. The island was then engulfed in jungle, and undead appeared approximately 500 years ago. Fear of Dendar will return. Or fear is that Dendar is going to return, and it seems that Raz Nasi, fuck that guy, he used to be a paladin of Mesro. He wants to release Dendar from the peaks of flame. Is approximately what we know.
Can I just say
shit.
that
Wow.
Garathor is like the most intelligent barbarian I have ever encountered. Holy
Role-playing
shit.
it well, actually.
And then as soon as I had learned all this and scribed it all down, I went up to a tower. A meteor came at us. Everyone decided to leave, and my high wisdom did not check out this time because I stayed in the building. Nearly got absolutely obliterated by a giant gargoyle, and then jumped out into midair with my immovable rod and one-handedly beat this gargoyle while fireballs flew over my shoulder, making me feel like a god myself. Then realizing that I was out in the middle of nowhere while poison gas kept engulfing my body, and I realized that all of my rope that was going to keep me suspended left, so I nearly died realizing I had nowhere to go. But I survived.
It all worked out in the end.
It all worked out. Go Fireball.
Great recap. Wow.
Wow.
And Luke, great job taking notes. You are a DM's ideal player for writing down the lore. Thank you.
That was
All that reading
amazing.
didn't go for nothing. Yeah. And it will come into play. For sure. So keep that handy. All right. So with that, you guys, I believe, were kind of in Kir Sabal, and they were talking about what to do next. The people started to come back to their town, the Aarakocra. Ashara is still leading them and kind of taking care of them, but it's really up to you. It is getting kind of dark. If you remember, this happened at about sunset. This is all on the same day, by the way, that you climbed up. We haven't got a chance to sleep yet, so I believe the plan was to sleep in the village and then wake up fresh and take off. Is that
I
correct?
seem to recall that we had some friends, or at least people we knew, in town who were hidden away in this cave right here that we had not yet seen.
The cave with no
Master
entrance.
Zindar.
Xanti
Yes.
and Zindar.
Xanti and Zindar. And I believe
Um,
Iranae had a date with the princess as well.
Oh, I don't think it was a date. I was just gonna hang out.
Alex wiggles her eyebrows.
Besides,
Well,
the stage is yours.
I am totally beat. I could go for some rest.
Find friends in the morning or find friends now. I don't know, guys. That was a bit much.
As my skin at this point in time is half melted off, and I'm eating a piece of cured fish from my backpack, I'll be like, you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm going to catch a nap. And I'd like to ask where a good sleeping quarters, preferably somewhere very safe and as deep into this rock face as possible.
They do have an extra room. Not necessarily a whole extra place, but the one here in the far left is has an extra room up top where that little window is, and they're making arrangements for you to stay there as kind of the saviors of the village. As everyone that kind of passes you just kind of nods. They're still shaken up from this huge attack. It's the most brutal attack that's ever been staged on Kir Sabal, and they all thought they were going to die or lose their city at the very least. So everyone's kind of just nodding their head and just so thankful, but also just processing this horrible tragedy. So the accommodations are made.
I will just lumber over to the room, and
Right. You also have a point of exhaustion, Garathor.
yes, and I will.
Also, did you actually do the slaying, or was that Ignatius's fireball?
I think it was the fireball that finished it off.
I thought so too. Okay, then you avoided that wisdom save at the
Yes.
end there. Okay.
Not like it would have mattered since I was literally hanging from
It would have been pretty funny to see Garathor swing wildly at the closest thing he could find for a good couple turns.
I will lumber into the room and fall face first, taking a point of damage as I don't even care to sit down gracefully. I'm just going to fall.
You might need that hit point. Never know what's going to happen in the night.
But I go to sleep.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Garathor and just do some prayers. I'll light a few candles, do some Hail Kasuths, and find some sleep eventually.
I'll look at Iranae and just say, well, I'm a bit spell-starved, but I'm not feeling that bad. You want to go chat with some more friends or sleep?
Right now, I mean, I'll come with you. I don't actually recall if I've met these individuals, but as Garathor's walking
You
away,
did?
hey Garathor,
Uh,
let me borrow that jug.
I will hand over the jug. I will remove it from my backpack. Don't break
Okay.
it.
I won't break it, Garathor. You know I fucking love this thing just as much as you do.
All right, the jug is in your possession.
Oh, Iranae, do you need any vessels to hold any of these liquids?
Just some cups.
I will remove 2 of my cups from my kitchen set and give them to him.
Thank you very much, Garathor.
Mm.
And hey, fucking stellar work out there, yeah?
Who?
You.
Oh, no, thanks, man. I'm gonna go die quietly now. And like you hear just a bump in the upstairs room.
Oh, poor thing.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't think I want to talk to these old acquaintances alone, because I don't know them that well, so I think I'll wait for the others. Guess that means I'm going to sleep. And I look at the jug and the glasses. And where are you off to?
No destination in mind, wherever I can have a fucking drink.
Not tired quite yet. You just want to sit and have a drink and wait until we get tired?
Sounds like a plan. Just
Right, let's
post
find a
up
nice
like
view.
on one of these walkways, just looking out over this cliff.
Yeah. As you pour your drinks and look out over the cliff, the sun starts to set, and you notice that this place is just absolutely gorgeous. And you can see why it's a quiet little village, and probably it's not upkept on purpose because they don't like to share it. It's kind of tucked away and hidden. But yeah, it is absolutely stunning, and you feel something you haven't felt in a while is like a sense of peace emanating from this place and this village as things start to settle down, and you're kind of having this evening moment.
If any members of the village pass by, I will offer drinks. I know they live a simple life, so they may not accept, but
Yeah,
out
a
of
couple of them
politeness.
turn you down, and then the third one comes in and is like, "Oh, we're not allowed to drink here."
I
Keeps
hope.
walking.
We...
And then turns back and says, "Just don't tell Ashara," and keeps walking.
Yeah, I don't think they can begrudge us too much. We earned this drink.
Is it crazy that this sunset, this peace, it reminds me a lot of being on a ship, you know? Community. Have you ever been in just like the worst battle ever on your ship? And once the storm has passed and everyone's recovering, the sea never seems more still or more beautiful. And the sunset that night's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen because you didn't know if you were going to see it that day or not. Just kind of feels like that.
I wish I could say that I have. We
You never had a battle.
We managed to avoid him for the most part. And the one that we had that was more than just a little light skirmish, well, you know how that one ended.
Yes, I feel No, I don't need to apologize, but I feel like I should apologize for that.
It wasn't you. And I think it made your fucking dad feel shitty enough about it that...
Yeah, but you made him grow a pair, so I mean, I feel like you got your revenge good enough, yeah?
Yeah,
Made
I
a better
mean,
person out of him.
he's working on it. He'll get there. He'll get there. The fuck you, Iranae, was good, though. I liked that. I was proud of that one.
That was good. Yeah, that I saw in that moment, and I think that's the only moment I could see what my mom saw in him.
Only moment. That was it.
I mean, he's a great
At
guy,
this
but
point, at this point, you do see wandering down the path, kind of somewhat intentionally and with a certain air, Princess Mawaxanare starts to make her way up to you guys. Hi. Uh, can I join you guys?
Good evening, Princess. You're more than welcome.
please. And I kind of scooch over and leave a little space in between us for her to sit.
She takes a seat and looks to her left and right, kind of at your glasses.
Ouch. Rinse mine out and hand it over to her. And I feel like I've had enough for tonight. I think I'm going to call it an evening. So you two, let me know what you talk about. I'm feeling pretty tired now. So good night. And I pat Iranae on the shoulder and head for the bedroom.
No.
I don't mean to intrude or anything, but do you mind if I join you for whatever you're drinking?
As long as you don't tell Ashara, and if you do tell Ashara, you didn't get it from me.
I can do that. She holds out the glass.
Pour her an ale.
So I don't. I grew up in this village. She kind of takes a sip, and then she like.
It's an acquired taste.
I grew up in this village, and I don't get out much, and you adventures are just so exciting. I was wondering if you could tell me about the outside world a little bit.
I can show you the world.
What direction is this cliff facing?
I was looking at that myself. I think it faces west.
Okay, and that would mean it's pointing towards the Sword Coast, right? Obviously not visible, we're way out, but...
No, the Sword Coast is northeast from Chult.
Okay. I do not...
Yeah, if you go west, you'd hit straight ocean. The Sword Coast is mostly north, but it is east. Remember, at one point, Chult was a peninsula off of the Sword Coast, like very far south.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I had the direction backwards in my head. Well, the first thing you gotta know about the rest of the world is that it's fucking big. See that?
That's exciting.
I point out at the ocean. If you were to get on a ship and go that direction, we don't even know what you get to. You could sail for months. We don't know. It's so big we haven't found the other side of it yet. If there is one.
I've never been on a ship. What's that like? And yeah, what is that like?
It's like this, to be honest. Small group. Tight knit. You know everyone. It's I mean, honestly, a lot of ships, not much more room than, and I'd kind of gesture up at the the big temple. Not much more room than that, and you've got a full crew living in just that space. The whole time there's just this gentle rocking motion. It never stops moving, ever. No matter how still the water. Always. Even if it's just a little. Obviously, if a storm hits, well, things can get a little wild.
That sounds really exciting. I would really like to go sometime. Maybe you could take me.
Maybe. All depends on if we can pull off what we're trying, I suppose.
Yes, I have heard a little bit from Ashara. You are certainly very brave, and hopefully you're doing many good things for Chult, which I hope to. Ashara tells me I will rule someday. She says, she looks over at your drink and notices it's a kind of like nearing the bottom, and she says, "Oh," and she, you see her mutter an incantation, and all of a sudden the jug raises up in the air on its own and uncorks, boonk, and comes over to your glass and refills it, and then goes
now
back. It's
that's
just
a neat
levitating in the air.
trick. Can you teach me that?
I don't think so, unfortunately. No, I have this power granted from above. So I think perhaps you may find someone that would grant you these gifts someday as well.
I think I might have already. She's just a little more fickle about it.
Well, cheers. Thank you for the lovely evening, brave Iranae.
I like that better than foolish, Iranae, so we'll stick with it.
All right. She kind of clinks your glass, and then you notice she like shifts her seat like a little bit closer to you, and just kind of finishes her beer silently and looks up at the sunset before eventually just finishing it and departing back to her room.
A whole new world.
Yeah, I'll just sit out there for until the stars are well and truly out and just kind of watch the stars for a while before heading back in. Because I took no damage during that fight, so I'm actually pretty solid right now.
Yeah. Actually, that was amazing how much the Arakokra, based on your rolls, like overtook the massive gargoyles. Thanks to the owls and your rolls and fighting. They were really struggling there. So, all right, yes, no damage, and the stars are just once again. You're completely out of the city light now, and away from Port Nine Zaru, and kind of up on the rock face here. It's just you can see the entire sky. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And then eventually, make your way back to your room. Sleep takes you, and all of you awake the next morning. Go ahead, Kaylie.
Can I do one thing before we sleep? When I come into the room and see the two probably passed out on their asses, I'd like to kind of sit in the bed furthest away, quietly light a flame in my hand, and take out Volo's Guide to Monsters and start studying it. Just start
Okay.
reading through it.
All right, cool. I will tell you tomorrow kind of what you find and what you see and what's
Gorgeous.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'll tell you at the break actually. I'll go do a quick scan myself and see.
So, GM, I would actually like to wake up before sunrise. when the first bits of light are showing on the horizon, and wake up my brother Garathor at that time,
All
if
right.
that's all right. Garathor, Garathor, wake up. It's time.
Time for what?
It's time, brother. You need to come with me.
Oh my god. Okay. And I roll over and I drag my axe behind me as I leave the room with him.
All right. I'd like to find just any killer lookout point where we might view the sunrise.
You can't really go any higher necessarily here without going in. Like, I guess that probably the best place is actually that the sanctuary that was blown up. If you want to go out onto that little balcony that Garathor kind of jumped off of. If you want somewhere that's less of a point of destruction, you can go down a little bit too. But that's probably the best view, actually.
Okay. Well, we'll go there, and it'll remind us of the battle yesterday. Garathor, that was quite a display. I couldn't be more proud of you after yesterday, little brother.
So let's just say that we are a force to be reckoned with, brother.
I think that's a very, very true statement. But alas, little brother, the time has come. You are carrying with you something impure, something that is a detriment to yourself and a detriment to our party. And with the light, the first flame of the day, it is the perfect time for performing rituals in the name of Kasuth. Are you ready to part with that curse once and for all, brother?
Yeah, I think it's time.
I think it's time as well. Well, Garathor, what I want you to do, let's both focus together. Focus on Kasuth and his healing light, and we can bring our attention to that point in the sky. And at the sun's first light, I will utter the incantations, and we will remove this curse.
Let's just pray that it doesn't destroy the axe, it just removes its magical abilities, brother.
I will certainly pray that. All right, DM. When the first
Uh,
beam of sunlight appears,
yeah, and you see over the top, kind of cresting over. I guess it would be behind you, and slowly the sunlight is starting to filter into the canyon. And right as those first like kind of beams hit, and you see it notably illuminating this whole canyon. You can see its beauty. You feel the light of and warmth of the presence of Kasuth in this light, and mutter your incantation. Garathor has his axe out in front of him. It's stuck like glue to his hand, and as soon as you finish,
I touch
ping,
his arm at the wrist as I say these words.
it immediately falls to the ground. Boof! And makes a loud noise as it hits the wood. And it there lays the axe. It feels weird, Garathor. At the same time, it feels like you have function of your hand again, like you had actually lost the ability to use that hand for a while. So it's kind of like getting a limb back at the same time.
My hand kind of like raises up because I'm not used to like the not weight of the axe. I'm like, oh, oh, oh,
Oh, it worked, Garathor.
oh
How
my
do you feel?
god. Smaller but wiser.
Wiser. That's interesting.
Brother, do you think that there's a way that you could detect if there's still magic or a curse upon the axe? If I were to pick it up again, if it would get stuck, or if it is still a cursed axe that you've just removed from my hand?
I believe strongly that the curse remains with this object. So please don't touch it. We can get a second opinion. I intend to deliver this axe to Ashara for safekeeping until we know maybe another use for it later down the line.
Well, if we'll just ask Ashara if she has any ability to detect magic, but I take out my bedroll and I wrap the axe up in it, being sure not to touch the axe at all. You know.
Actually, when Garathor takes out his bedroll, I offer to take the bedroll and do that on his behalf. Like, whoa, Garathor! I think it's probably the wisest decision just to stay
Garathor is
separate.
like, my precious.
He's gonna resent me forever. Might get a knife in the back sometime. All right, Garathor, I'm gonna deliver this to Ashara. Brother, I know it's early. I felt this was the most appropriate time to perform this. You can go catch some more sleep if you'd like.
No, I reckon I better start cooking breakfast, and cooking with two hands is gonna be. We might be in for some treats, brother.
It seems like cooking with two hands would be like advantageous,
I feel like I could be twice as good.
Right, right. Yeah, so hopefully that reflects when we finally determine how good your cooking was, that you made it with two hands.
Well, let's find out. And I will go to the kitchen. And can you give me a list of ingredients we've got here, DM?
They are vegetarians there.
That's fine.
So you're working with mostly gathered nuts, root vegetables, things that you know are available in Chult, berries. Um, yeah, pretty much like leafy greens, lettuce and cabbage and spinach, those type of things.
Well, we're gonna keep
Potatoes.
this. We're gonna keep this relatively
Carrots.
simple for breakfast. We're gonna do porridge with assorted nuts with a. Let's see. We're gonna go with a. Ba, 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 ba. We're gonna go with a mint honey glaze over the nuts, or just a honey glaze with some mint sprinkled over the top of it. And then we're gonna grab some leafy greens, chop them up, and I'm simply just gonna add some cooking oil and some vinegar to that, and just mix that up for the fiber we need and the protein we need to take us on through the day. And then over the top of the salad, we're gonna sprinkle. I'm gonna grind up some. We're gonna go with some mustard seed and some allspice and a little bit of fennel, and we're gonna sprinkle that over the top of the salad. And then I remembered that I have some vanilla, and I'm gonna sprinkle the vanilla over the top of the honey for our
Oh my god.
porridge medley.
Emphasis on sprinkling too. He's like
Like two hands. Oh, I can actually do this now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and I definitely. Do they have any lemons in this kitchen?
They do.
Definitely throwing some lemon in with that vinaigrette for the salad. Absolutely,
right.
getting the lemon in that vinaigrette.
I'm so jealous of your characters. They eat better than me in real life. So. Yeah. Did you want to go to Ashara before breakfast?
No, because Ashara is gonna be trying to not let me cook because they eat so simply, and I really want to fucking cook for these guys.
No,
Like,
I meant Ignatius.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. While you're cooking, I'm just
Gotcha.
trying to get that out of the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
You find Ashara eventually outside of her house, kind of doing her morning prayers.
Ashara, good morning.
Ah, Ignatius, how are you? Is the morning not one of the most beautiful? Then again, I say that every morning.
I'm a bit of a morning person as well, and I'd have to agree with that. So let me guess, you're saying some Hail Kasuths.
I was not, but I believe Kasuth and the one who leads us on our path through the maze are friends somewhere.
Yeah, I I think that might just be the case. Inside, I'm thinking like, maybe I'll ask Kasuf about that later, but I'll be polite right now.
She's also being polite. Based on your insight. Just naturally.
So, Ashara, I have kind of a funny favor to ask of you, if you don't mind.
Anything.
Well, Garathor, my little brother, and I have um, we've come upon a an artifact from our past that was passed down through the lineage from orcs. I think hundreds of years in the past. Well, there's only one small hang up with this item. It has a bit of a curse associated with it. You might have noticed Garathor holding on to this axe as if it was the last time he would ever see it in his life. Well, Kasuth has blessed me with the power to remove said curse. Praise be upon him. And I have this item now. However, we cannot keep it with us. So I was wondering if it wouldn't be too much of a burden, if you might be able to watch it for us, keep it safe until we recover it at a later date.
Uh, she kind of looks over the axe a little bit and says, well, normally we would not store an item such as this. We have a few simple spears. We try to keep items such as this specifically out of the village, but perhaps there is a place we could safely store it. And it does seem like it would be something, if it is indeed cursed as you speak, something that should be kept out of the wrong hands.
Indeed, yes. I would highly recommend against anyone touching it without some sort of barrier, hence the bedroll here. I assume Garathor is going to need this bedroll, so if you have like, an old towel or something we could transfer right now.
She laughs, kind of like, yeah. She's like, I'm very familiar with cursed items. I've encountered many in my many days. Um, yes, if you could just, she kind of snaps her fingers, and one of the attendants comes out the door, and she says something in Oron, and the the attendant comes back quickly with a sheet and kind of holds out hands. If you could kind of just unroll it carefully
Yeah.
into the, that would be fine.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was able to break the hold over Garathor. Uh, just to confirm, it's definitely still cursed, right? From your knowledge.
It depends on the nature of the curse. Some minor curses can be removed altogether, but if it seems like it was a powerful or old, or as you have described, something passed down and a very ancient type of magical curse, those those do not break easy.
Right.
Sometimes some great sorcerers or wizards have the power to break them only at the latest stages of their magic.
I see. Well, best then to keep this far away from us. Would you happen to have perhaps another axe or similar weapon? I know Garathor is going to be feeling a bit funny without this in his arsenal.
Unfortunately, we have spears. We don't have a very wide inventory of weapons here at all on purpose. As I said, there's no violence allowed, and I'm afraid all we can offer is the spears.
All right. Well, we may just in fact hit you up for some spears before we leave for Nangalore. Um, Is there any a special insight you could give me about Nangalore, by the way? I know we kind of got some cliff notes yesterday, but what exactly are we going to encounter once we're there?
That's the problem. No one has, not to my knowledge, a few have rumored to have gone to Nangalore and on a spiritual quest and then somehow made it out alive, but I doubt it myself. I think they were just telling tales to bolster themselves and their reputation. I
Hmm.
do not know of anyone that has gone to Nangalore and come back. I've only heard rumors, and I know that it was an ancient Omuin. Um, it was a garden that was dedicated to a queen about 300 years ago, and it was one of the last ruling uh, queens of Omu. Actually, the great great grandmother of the princess here, and apparently she she something happened. She made some pact with some form of evil, and they in Omu banished her to the gardens that they had originally created for her from Omu to the gardens. And apparently she's remained there till this day, with some kind of evil magic about her. And she is the one that has control, I believe, or cultivates these black orchids. That is what I will need to perform the ritual to give you my wings.
Wow, it really is sad how even the purest amongst us can be corrupted by such filth and evil, right?
That is very true. Yes.
Well, I promise you, Ashara, I will purify Nangalore. We will purify Nangalore in the name of Kasuth, and we will return successful with these black orchids.
Well, I hope you can. It is a beautiful place, and it has been for many years, one of the jewels of Chult itself, and perhaps you will encounter this beauty. Just be wary of it, and be wary, very wary of this queen.
I will heed your warnings. Thank you so much. By the way, Garathor is in the kitchen cooking up something fantastic. I believe he would love for you to enjoy a meal that he's prepared. He's quite talented.
Will that be my honor? Uh, I will invite a few of the elders as well, and we will have breakfast together. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I will get up and go find my squad.
All right. Eventually, you guys make your way into the kitchen. Um, Assuming you don't want to do anything in the morning, Iranae or Alex, and kind of gather there. And slowly, the elders and Ashara make their way, and you guys all have an amazing breakfast prepared by Garathor. And the elders and Ashara are not sure about kind of how the level of this, and that they're kind of this is a luxury for them, and they're kind of supposed to, according to their religion, they're supposed to have more of a simple life, so they feel like they're indulging a little bit by eating this, but they don't want to be rude. And you see some of the elders kind of smiling as they take bites and like secretly enjoying it a lot.
Yes.
So if
I
the princess is here also, is she showing any sign? Because she's never had alcohol before, and she drank a whole beer right before she went to bed.
She is not present. And Ashara says, "Oh, I'm sorry. The princess will not be joining us this morning. She is sick. She seems to have some form of a stomach bug and a headache, and she can't eat. And she can't look at food."
Oh,
I'd like
think
to pass by Garathor and be like, "Could you whip?" Let's just be like quietly out of earshot. Be like, "Could you whip up a hangover cure for me?" Just
Yeah, I'm going to grab my mortar and pestle And I am going to grab some red chili flake. Can I find ginger in this?
Yep.
So I'm going to take ginger, lemon, red chili flakes. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin and a little bit of garlic as well. And then I'm going to pour that into a cup of vinegar and stir that all up in a little tiny jar. And then I am going to heat up some water and then just do some honey and vanilla into a cup of tea and say, all right, have her just shoot or drink this vinegar as fast as possible. It's going to be vile, but this tea is going to be for the backside of it to help calm her down. But she should be fine right after this. And I'll take a slice of lemon and I'll garnish it up with my hand axe because that's what I'm using to cut things up these days. And I would like to put a thin slice of lemon on the cup on this tea and be like, oh yeah, she's sick. Oh, this will be fine.
Are you gonna bring it to her personally, Iranae, or send it?
Yeah,
to her?
I'll ask Ashara. Be like, hey, can I take this up to her? It's all natural remedy that Garathor.
Yeah, she kind of was watching Garathor like concoct things, and she's kind of an herbalist herself as a vegetarian and enjoys teas, as you know. So she was kind of like impressed by Garathor mixing this up. She's like, "Oh yes, yes, of course." As soon as you ask, she kind of assumed what you were doing.
So I'll take it up.
Okay. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, Ashara, go away.
No, it's me.
Oh, you hear like some like rustling and like some rummaging and you hear some noise, like some frantic noise, and then she's like, "Oh, Iranae, come in."
Go in.
And she's still in bed, but she's like now up kind of on a pillow propped at like her shoulder on her elbow and is laying down and has it even though she said she was sick, it looks like her hair is a little bit done now still in like within like 5 seconds and she doesn't look horrible. She looks pretty bad.
I bet you feel like absolute shit right now.
Yes. I don't know. That was my first time ever having something like that.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste and you get used to that part, but here, this should help you feel a little bit better. I hand her the shot. I'm like, alright, that is going to be one of the most disgusting things you have ever tasted. Just drink it as fast as possible. Just throw it back.
She takes it and looks at it and smells it and
Nope,
that
don't.
smells like. Oh. She takes the shot. She just listens to you. Constitution save. 8. It immediately just goes on the ground right in front.
Well, it was worth a shot. It was worth a
She seems
shot.
very embarrassed, and she's like, "That, oh,
Yeah, no,
I feel like some of it went down. Maybe it will help, but I really appreciate it. Oh, this is embarrassing."
here, follow it up with this. And I give her the like honey tea.
She sips the honey tea and she says, "This is very nice. Thank you."
Oh, thank Garathor. You wouldn't think it him being a half-orc, but he's a fucking wizard in the kitchen. But drink that. It probably won't work as quickly as it would have otherwise, but it should still help you feel better. And it'll pass. Give it a couple hours.
Yes, I wish I could be in more of a mood to wish you farewell, but please just be safe out there.
Oh, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. You make sure that your people recover properly.
And you guys are coming back to Kir Sabal.
Absolutely. Quick hop over to the gardens and then we'll be back.
with that, she kind of leans back in bed and just like passes out and starts snoring.
Go back to breakfast.
So
All
at
right.
breakfast, does anyone notice anything different about Garathor?
He's about to- I think as soon as Alex walks in the kitchen and sees Garathor preparing and sees that he doesn't have the axe, she just kind of pauses. Garathor?
Hmm.
Where'd it go?
I turn over and I look, and like there's like a little bit of a sadness in my eyes, and I just turn back in the kitchen and I just like keep working on stuff. Like I'm keeping my brain distracted by just cooking more and more, and I'm like preparing way too much food at this point in time.
I look at Ignatius. What
I've
did you
like filled up
do?
all of my jars with like pickled vegetable. Oh yeah. I asked permission to use more vegetables for our travels ahead, if they're okay with that.
They're okay with it. It looks like their supply is not huge, but you would assume you're not imposing too much by filling up a few jars.
So yeah, I'm just gonna make some pickled vegetables for us. Some asparagus, maybe maybe start working on some actual cucumbers or some pickles, making some real pickles.
All right.
Perfect. Put those in the pack, and I'm just chopping things away while everyone eats. I've already had my bowl of mush this morning.
Coming back in, I look over at Garathor and do a double take. Wait, has that been gone this whole time?
I noticed it this morning.
And then
Again,
I
look
take
at
my hand axe
Ignatius.
and I very loudly cut a cucumber in half with my hand axe. Gunk!
I go over and I give Garathor just a pat on the back, like reaching up.
I turn around and I just kind of give a head nod, and then I turn back to my vegetables.
I don't know what the fuck happens, but I guess this is for the better.
Casus will be done.
I just look at Ignatius and I nod and I say thank you. Feel a bit safer now.
The hardest things, and I just kind of mutter from the back, the hardest things in life are often for the better or the greater good.
Did I hear him say that?
How much were you trying to mutter it, Garathor?
I wasn't trying to. I would say on a volume scale of 1 to 10, I probably was looking at about a 4.
Okay, you heard it.
Okay, I just want to walk up behind Garathor and just kind of give him a little side hug.
I
I
turn
know
to look
you're a
at.
real asshole sometimes, but I do like you.
I just give the same
Yeah.
head nod that I gave Iranae. Just.
Like you even more now without the scary axe that almost killed me.
Mm.
So you know, it's for the
Mhm.
better.
So when we reconvene as a party, all right, guys, are we gonna hang out for? I mean, are we gonna head out for Nangalore right away? I mean, I'd really like to. I mean, the clock's ticking, right?
I really don't think we have much time to sit around and dilly dally. We really must be on our way. Our
Well,
father
let's.
has
Well,
not
Garathor,
long for this journey.
do you have a weapon now? Or are you just weaponless?
I just pull out my hand axe and
You got some javelins too, right, Garathor?
yeah, I mean they do the same amount of damage. Let's
Wait,
just
what'd
say
you do with
Well,
your
we
old
know
axe?
gave it to someone in Jahaka Bay.
Oh shit.
I think it was your dad who had it.
Oh, did you give it to my dad?
No, because then he
Aw.
turned it down. He was like, "I'm more comfortable with a fucking dagger."
Yeah,
It might have been the captain, or yeah.
It wasn't the captain. It was what was his name? It was like the burly fighter guy. That was on your original ship on the Dawn Spear.
Yeah, so I gave him my
That
other
guy.
great axe. I've got these hand axes. Sounds like they don't have
Well,
many weapons here in Kirsabal.
we do know 2 other people not from Kirsabal that might have weapons if we want to check with them before we leave.
Right.
Zindar and Xanthi, they might have brought something with them.
It's a good idea.
That's a very good idea.
And
That's
I'd
not
like to
sometimes.
look at Rashara?
Ashara. Yep.
Ashara? Ashara, do you happen to have a rope and string that we could take on our journey?
Like thick rope, climbing rope, and small string, like
Yes.
fishing line.
Yes, anything.
We can provide both of those things, sure.
Perfect. I've lost 50 feet of my rope in our last battle, and I think I can think of a few very good uses for string.
What do you mean, Luke? Like fishing line or something like
like
twine?
twine or fishing line. I could use either. I'm just looking for some kind
They
of.
can provide you with all those things if you
If
wanted.
I could get
So you
both,
can
then yeah.
You can add 50 feet of rope, like 10, 20 feet of fishing line. Let's say 20.
Okay,
And then like 10 feet of twine.
perfect. I would love all of those things.
Yep.
And
They have also those simple tools or simple things, yeah. Okay, so you guys are gonna go see Xanthi and Zindar then. Is there anything else you'd like to do? We're gonna take a break here in a minute, but I'd like to kind of have all of our tasks so after the break we can kind of get heading out. So anything else that you guys want to do before you head out?
do they have
besides
any
that?
leather pelts?
They have leather pelts as well, yes.
If I could get like a 5x5 leather piece of leather.
All right. After they give you were like, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And then they're kind of like, and then you're like pickling all their food, and eventually you start to notice that they're kind of like feeling a little off put, but then they're like, you did save our life and the village, so they hand over that as well. But you feel like you're starting to weigh on them.
I also pull out like my bag of gold and I say, you don't have use for this out here, do you?
They look at each other and they say, no, we have no money system here.
Do you guys like ingots or pretty gemstones?
Ashara might have some, but we do not keep any possessions, really.
How about a cooking course when I return?
One of the elders like turns his head at this and is like, and then he like quiets down and is like,
I wink at him. Can I roll for sleight of hand or something?
no, he sees it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll wink
He's
at
kind of
him.
like,
I appreciate your generosity and hospitality, but the next legs of our journey are going to be rather difficult. And as you can see, I'm at a disadvantage, having lost a great weapon.
Well, hello there, friends. We're here back at the Emerald Dragon, coming off our little break and jumping right back into some Tomb of Annihilation. Do you know where you are? You're gonna die. That won't get old to me. Hopefully, it doesn't get old to you. All right, take it away, Paul.
Go.
So, Alex, as you pour over some of Volo's book
Yes.
last night,
Oh, please.
purchasing it quite a few episodes ago, finally getting a chance to kind of sit down with it and mull over it a little bit. It is a very well written book. And it seems like Volo is just a collector of knowledge and is very curious and wants to document not, well, he does two things. All of these creatures that you are very aware of, or have heard about in lore, beholders, giants, gnolls, goblinoids, hags, kobolds, mind flayers, orcs, and yuanti, are all mentioned in quite great detail. Like you can actually dig into it a little bit and hear about their societies and a little bit about how they their combat tactics, their ranking systems. So yeah, depending on how much time you have, you really could become an expert given enough time and intelligence and will on basically just reading on what Volo has documented here. It's really in depth, like to a scary degree, and it's almost like it gets a little bit boring and dry because he's a good writer, but he goes just into painstaking detail about these specifically. Then there's a mishmash of other creatures that you've never heard of, some that you've encountered here on Chult, but he just seems to be trying to piece together the second half of this book is just all all different sorts of weird, unique creatures that you haven't really heard of before. And you're just kind of glancing through it, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot of weird stuff in the world. If these things are even true." So that's kind of the synopsis in the first couple hours of reading it. The general overview of the book.
Awesome. I dogtail ears pages that I'm interested in and put it back.
Certainly, the hags and the Yuanti have already stuck in your brain as something that could be helpful because you've already encountered some hags, and you're also thinking about encountering snake people, or you're assuming you're going to encounter some snake people again. So both of those kind of stick out as something that could be useful if you keep reading into them.
Definitely like take a bookmark to the hag page. I mark that shit out.
Okay. Uh, Garathor.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Are you kind of leading? I guess you guys all go. So, but yeah, Ashara eventually says, "Well, I can introduce you to have. Do you know Xanthi and Zindar?
We've met Zindar. I don't know if we've met Xanthi.
Well, we are trying to keep their presence a secret here. They are very high up, uh, both in the island of Chult, but especially at Port Nyanzaru, and who knows what people are out to kill them at this point in the madness of the death curse and everything that's going on. But yes, we'll see if they're available. But I know Zindar is quite protective of Xanthi, so you might have to talk to him first. But she kind of leads you over to the cave, and you see like it's like a loose iron gate. You can kind of maybe put your hand through it, but you definitely couldn't squeeze through even the smaller ones of you. And she gets out a big skeleton key, opens up the gate, and kind of goes around a corner and says, "Wait here for a sec." And she grabs. She comes back around a few moments later with Zindar, who you notice as the gold dragon, um, the dragonborn, and he looks as mighty and just suited like for battle. Like he looks as professional as he did the moment you guys saw him kind of swoop in at the end of the battle after the assassination. Long.
Zindar, do you remember me?
I'll post that picture again of Zindar.
It's already in our it's at the very, very
Oh.
bottom, guys, on your
Does it pop up again when I do that?
I mean, it's
No?
already in our handouts. If we just go to the player handouts and go all the way to the bottom, there's already
Oh,
a
okay.
picture of Zindar.
It does
Okay.
pop out though.
Yeah, that is a
Oh.
nice refresher.
Yep. That's good to know. So I can just hit show to players again and it'll refresh, yeah. Okay, so Zindar comes around the corner. And once again, he is a sight to behold. And yeah, he walks up. Garathor, I think you are in the front, and he says, "Ah, friends from Port Nyanzaru, what brings you to Kir Sabal? Are you also seeking refuge from the madness that has besieged our city?"
We came here seeking knowledge, which we received, but we are not here for refuge. We are on a quest to stop the death curse, save the island, and most importantly, save my father.
Well, he kind of surveys all of you, and it's like, that is a lot to take on. I'm, qu- I'm quite impressed by your courage. All right. Well, is there anything you need of me or the Lady Xanthi?
We have a few questions. Time is of the essence, so we cannot talk for too long. But what was the state of Port Nyanzaru before you left?
Well, people started, people in power, soldiers, warriors, wizards, adventurers. Many stakeholders in Port Nyanzaru all of a sudden became afflicted with this curse and were bedridden and sick. As soon as that happened, there was a massive power grab by the beggar princes. As soon as they started taking over, and I believe that they were in concert with the Flaming Fist. As soon as they started taking over and sending out patrols and becoming a presence, a military presence in the city, Xanthi and I worried for our lives and decided it would be best to flee. So we got on one of the last ships out before the blockade and fled our way here.
Seems to be the exact information we had when we left. I'm glad to see that you are safe, as when we left Port Nyanzaru, uh, the icy dicks were being more dickish than normal.
I never liked them.
Well, depending on how our quest goes, we will have to assess that situation later. But first things first, it seems that this curse has spread across the whole world, not just Chult. So this could be grave times in front of us, depending on the outcome of our quest.
This is very true. I believe as you guys are going out, you will kind of be the first responders to this, as you are already on Chult. I do not know of any other capable parties. Perhaps something could be thrown together in a matter of weeks, but I don't know if some of our souls have a matter of weeks who are afflicted by this.
It seems we have approximately 3 weeks left before uh, anybody afflicted will most likely be dead. I'm happy to see you are safe, though. But I have come with one more question, and this is going to be a bit more difficult. But I have lost my weapon um, in uh, in our travels, and I require something bigger than this. And I pull out my hand axe. Do you or Zinthi happen to have anything that you would be willing to part with for the time being? Clearly alone, I'm happy to offer you gold, but it is
Like,
important.
well, I do not carry any weapons myself. Neither does the Lady Xanthi, but we do have two bodyguards that came with us. I don't recall what weapons they have. Give me a moment. And he goes in the back.
Hey, do we know what Xanthi is the merchant prince of?
I don't think you do.
I don't think we ever talked to Zanti.
A few moments later, he does find. He comes out and he has a shield and a longsword, and he says, "The guards are armed with long swords, and I know the Arakokra have spears, but I'm afraid that is all we have at this point in time."
A long sword and a shield will be more than excellent, and I'm happy to pay for these goods, as it is.
Oh, no, we have not much need as far as our presence is secret. As of now, I do not think we will require many weapons. Plus,
Zindar,
I
if you can jog our memory, sorry to interrupt you.
no, go ahead.
What exactly does Xanthi oversee in the port?
Been a while. As a DM, Xanthi is, of course, the merchant prince of gems, jewelry, cloth, and armor.
Very interesting.
Did
I
you get a chance to see the gem shop, or both in the Grand Souk, but there is also like a gem carving area over on the coast. It's beautiful. Many gems from the mines, the rich mines of Jolt.
I don't think we saw that. No. but something to check out once this is all behind us. It might be too much of an imposition. I understand if so, but would either of you happen to have anything else you can send with us on our journey? Apparently, we're heading to a destination which nobody is known to return from. Anything would be useful.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
22.
Okay.
My first good
Oh,
charisma roll ever.
Right. Try all the persuasion checks. Let me see here. Orders.
That
There
cup of noodles
is.
looks so good.
It's the
this
it's the cheesy flavor. It's
Oh.
super bomb.
Really?
Never had that one.
Fake cheese.
Yeah, the cheesy
Um,
flavor.
Only available at grocery outlet.
She ordered it on Amazon because I couldn't
sponsored.
find it in any stores.
He goes in the back and he does manage to find after he comes out and emerges, he has 2 vials. He says, I'm sorry, we don't have a lot with us right now, but we do have I'm assuming you're talking about useful items. I mean, we do have some gold to spare if that would help you. But we have a potion of healing that we could spare, and also a potion of protection from poison. Would that help?
Most certainly. Thank you so much. That is very kind.
And I'll hand out
Hands them over.
my onyx gemstone, and I'll offer that to Zinthi, being like, "Thank you very much. This is all I can offer you."
Zindar says, "No, no. It sounds like you guys have quite the journey ahead of you. If there's anything else I think of, or perhaps when we take some further inventory of our supplies, maybe we could offer you something else as well. But please, we cannot accept that."
I hand it over to Iranae. I'm like, "Hey, can you put this in your little secret compartment?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Well, brave adventurers, good luck.
This has been most helpful. We appreciate your help.
We will see you on our return, hopefully not too many days away.
All right. Well, I will inform the Lady Xanthi, and perhaps you can meet her when you arrive back.
She sounds lovely. We'd be delighted.
She is one of the only people I trust in Port Nyanzaru. Of the merchant princes, that is. All right.
Alex just kind of stutters out. Hey, it was nice to see you again. You still look real cool.
He turns it and looks at you and is like, and you are looking well as well. And he turns and goes around the corner. All right. Any other business?
When
Or are
he
you
is
guys going
when
to-
he is guaranteed out of earshot, I'd like to say, "Well, at least he was a lot more helpful this time than he was last time."
Yeah, I remember he showed up right at the end of our
At the end
fight.
of the fight, took the
And he took
glory.
all the credit for it.
Yeah,
He
Yep.
took all the credit in the ledger too.
yeah.
Defeated assassins.
And then he cut town before he could even
Right.
vote. Come on.
He's like, "Yeah, if you need anything, come see me." It's like, "Nah, I'm gone."
In his ledger, he's writing "Solving Death Curse."
Yeah. All right.
All right. You
To
guys make your
Nangalore.
way.
Let's
Yes,
go.
you guys. I will not make you roll to get out of Kirsabal. We'll say you guys make your way through all the various treacherous areas on your way. Experiencing it already, it's not as much of a problem.
Whoa. I'm gonna request a party of Aarakocra airlift us from the top back down to the bottom of the trail. We just saved their goddamn village.
And then I looted all of it.
Make a persuasion check.
Can I cast guidance on him? So it's
Not
a D4.
anymore.
Damn it.
They say,
I used the lucky point. 22.
oh god, the lucky point.
I told my crew that when we were heading in there, we would get some airlift out of here. So
Okay. Well, you're talking to Ashara, and you feel like it's a little bit off-putting at first, but with your lucky point and will of Kasuth, you feel like you're starting to navigate the direction a little bit better. And eventually, she's like, I think I can manage. I will alert the guards. They should be here at all times, but I think this can be an exception. And she kind of snaps her fingers and does a little whistle, and the guards come out, and it's arranged that you are airdropped at the bottom of the trail.
Oh,
Where you guys
yeah.
were. They kind of just spread their wings and they grab you and slowly make their way down, kind of like a little bit faster feather fall.
when we were at our highest point, I just look over at Alex and Iranae. I'm just like, oh yeah. Over at
Soon.
Garathor, like thumbs up.
I'll be able to do this for us. Soon I can do this too.
I just kind of like look up at the Aarakocra that's carrying me, and they're the lucky one because I'm like tiny, weigh nothing. But I'm just like, look, I'm really sorry about this. He's really stubborn, very persistent.
They don't say anything, and they are very like stern. Like they're very different than the kind of the religious, more spiritual vibe you're getting from most of the people there. They seem like they're very militaristic and strict, and just obey orders and have very little emotion at this point.
Got it.
But
Well,
they
since it was so much to ask, apparently, I will just let the gargoyles win next time.
they don't say anything. They just keep going.
No, I wouldn't say that out loud, but
Oh,
yeah, I'm just thinking that, like, all right, we'll just let their village burn, whatever. Cooked them
Right.
breakfast, saved their lives, shared sweet stories.
Got the
And-
princess drunk.
Yeah. And we can't get an airlift without getting a hassle. Yeah, come on. It's bullshit.
Eventually, you guys are dropped off,
Thank
and
you.
at the bottom of the trail, they all kind of look at you and give you a bit of a bow, and then woof, take off back up in the air and rejoin the village.
As they bow, I'll give them a ship salute. I don't know how that's different from a regular salute. I'll think about it.
Is this a one-handed or a two-handed longsword that I received?
Normally I'd say there's a two-handed longsword. Is that a bastard sword?
Yeah, that'd
Well, I
be,
mean, I'm
well, a
guessing that
bastard
you
is a
gave-
hand and a half.
I'm
Right.
guessing since you gave me a shield that the soldier is probably one-handing it. But I mean, if you want to give me a two-handed, I'm not gonna be upset about it.
That would help you out, wouldn't it?
Get Garathor a claymore.
That'd be so fucking awesome.
Get you a diclave.
I
I'll
mean, I
send
think
you a
it's-
picture of an exalted diclave later on.
Dude, I just want the cloud sword, man. The Final Fantasy
Oh,
VII.
the Buster
there-
Sword? That's
Yeah.
basically what diclaves are. Except imagine that sword made out of jade instead of metal.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
longsword is only one-handed, I believe. There isn't a bastard sword in 5e. It looks like there's a great sword and a longsword.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. The companion was just asking me if I wanted a one or a two-handed longsword, so I was just checking. It was just a D10 instead of a D8. But nope, D8.
oh yeah. It says versatile, so you can
Yeah.
wield it two-handed. Yep. that makes sense.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, I'm gonna take both items, but I need to do the math on if I get bonus armor if I'm using a shield or not, because I think I don't. I think if I'm using a shield, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
because
Unarmored defense. Yeah.
Right. But I
Well, go
might.
ahead
That
and
might
do-
be. I'll do my math. I appreciate it. You're
Yep. Yep. You can do either. All right. What lies before you is the jungles of Chult once again.
Onward.
You know, I really love the jungle more when we're looking at it from the air.
I would like to give everybody a piece of pickled snapper, just a little treat as we go back into the jungle.
Yeah.
All right. Who is helming the trek?
I'll lead the way this time, guys, if you don't mind. I feel like
Ooh.
Sue is calling me into this one.
All right.
Immediately cast guidance on him.
I can use a shield and still gain my unarmored benefit. Unarmored defense. Yeah, it literally says it right at the end of it. Sweet.
Awesome.
So I will. Yeah.
So you can. Okay. Cool.
So if I like want to put it away and swing harder, I'll get that extra 2 to hit. But yeah. Anyways.
Versatility for your barb. Cool. All right. Go ahead and make a survival check, Ignatius. All right.
12. I get guidance too.
One
Yes.
d4.
D4. 13.
All right. So Alex is kind of like casting guidance, like as you're going through, kind of as a backup several times. That's a cantrip, so you can just kind of keep as Ignatius is leading the way. When it gets to some tough parts, you help him out a little bit. Yeah, with that roll, I would say the first day is relatively uneventful. You're starting to reacclimate to the jungle again after getting a good night's sleep in Kirsabal. But it did take you a few days through the jungle to get to Kirsabal, so it's not far off. You don't have to reacclimate too much.
I will
You spend the
note
most.
that the guidance being cast on me is probably like mixing my signals up a little bit as I'm like trying to tune to the guidance of Kasuth, and there's like this extra little interference, like static.
Yeah. It's like a.
Well, do you want me to stop then?
Yeah, maybe for now. I'll let you know. Thanks,
You
though,
just let me
Alex.
know when it stops being annoying. Every minute I'm just tapping him on the back because it only lasts for 1 minute, so it's just boop.
Okay. All right. So you guys, it's a relatively uneventful day. There's some mud pits. There's some. You eventually get to Lake Nasi Lake. Actually, let me pull up the old map here. You guys haven't seen this for a little bit.
Oh, the map. And Ashara filled in a whole bunch for us, right?
She did.
You have a direct route, kind of, from Kirsabal to Omu. And Omu is on your map, even though it's not an exact location. All right, so eventually you head south and you get to your left, or to the east. You see this like swampy, sickly, awful water. And on the map it's labeled the Nasi Wastes. And there's just a putrid smell. There's like some dead fish rising up to the top of the water and just floating, and it smells very acidic. And as soon as you guys kind of hit that, you can either follow along the banks if you want, or you can kind of go into the jungle a little bit more. But you assume that by the map that Nangalor will be both in the jungle, but along the coast of the Nasi Wastes.
Well, it seems like we have a choice: through the jungle or along the side of the swamp.
You know, you three always bring me to the most lovely places.
Only because we love you, dear.
It's much
Of course, this is a wonderful day to not.
it's much
stalk
worse here than it was
Waterwalk.
inside the belly of a bird person, huh?
Can't deny that.
Ignatius, you're the one leading.
Yes. What are the options?
Through the jungle.
Follow the
or
bank of
along
the river, which is acidic and there's dead fish in it and stuff. Or you can kind of go in like maybe at least 500 yards or so into the jungle and kind of avoid the bank, but it's going to be thick jungle.
Do we have to cross the river?
According to the map, no. It's not a river. It's a lake.
We're right here.
Oh, I see. Oh, we have the map pulled up. Sorry, I'm looking at my character sheet.
No, it's all good.
All right. Okay, I see.
It looks like it's going to be a 2-day journey. You'll probably get there tomorrow.
All right. Do you guys feel safer next to the water or inside the jungle? I'm really.
I always feel safer next to the water.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't know what the hell could live inside this water, but it gives us only one side to be ambushed from. Unless, of course, there's some undead T-Rex or something hiding in the lake, which I guess is possible, but
Iranae, I don't even want you to start on this. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It'd be very unpleasant.
What I can do, you know what I can do? Do you want me to talk to the jungle? I did talk with plants today. I could check and see what's around, what might be the best option here.
Sure, that sounds good.
Cool. I would like to go up to the smartest looking tree. So by that I probably mean a very large tree with lots of vines. Looks a little more old.
The smartest looking
This is
tree.
when
Smartest
me
looking tree.
go on and really.
Yep.
I live for moments like this, indeed.
Oh yeah.
The
And
smartest
I just
looking
like to
tree.
I'd like to go to the smartest looking tree. And I'd like to put my hands on the bark and cast Speak with Plants and just be like, hello, how are you doing today, dear?
You do find kind of an older looking. It's kind of a wider based tree, but it looks very old, and it's kind of got branches going up in all directions. It looks like it houses a bunch of wide variety of animals, and it goes straight up. It's not necessarily one of the massive ones, but it looks old to you for some reason. And after casting this spell, you see it kind of start to sway a little bit, and the green energy infuses with it. And you see it kind of quiver a little bit and come to life.
Hello, darling. Can you hear me?
You see it sway a little bit and say, "Ah, hello."
Evening. Oh, afternoon. I'm actually not sure what time it is, but my name is Alex, Ozeon of the Ozeon. I speak on behalf of my group here, as well as a representative of the jungle. I was wondering if you could please tell me if there was anything dangerous in the jungle or in the water, things that would cause things that we don't want to find or be around. Basically, I'm asking the safest way to go that way, and I point towards the direction of Nengalar.
Well, I've been here many years. I have seen much death in these waters. I have seen much death in the jungle. I have seen more death in the waters. All creatures that swim in it have not emerged, or at least not emerged in the same fashion that they went in.
Can you be a little more specific? Can you describe the death and how they looked when they emerged from the water?
Very few have swam. Sometimes animals emerge with great burns among them. Some of them emerge walking skeletons, horrible, twisted versions of what went in.
Huh. All right. And the jungle doesn't have things that bad. That's what you're saying.
Well, the things that came out of the water went that way. You see one of the branches kind of point over.
Words, Ningrelar.
Sorry, what was that?
Which way did he point? Sorry, I couldn't. You're a little
Into
slow
the
on my
jungle,
screen,
just
so I can't see.
generally.
Into the jungle. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the information. While I've got you on the line, you probably don't know anything about this, but have you heard of this place, Nangrelar?
Nangalore?
Nangalore. That place. I'm blaming it on the accent.
Nangola.
Nangrelar.
it's the Nasi Waste Resort. Nangola. The seaside resort.
Wonderful.
The tree just says, I do not communicate with many people.
Well, I'm glad I could help. One more question. I apologize. You haven't happened to see any snake-like folk around these parts, have you?
I have been alive many, many years. I have seen many snakes at some point or another, sometimes once a year, sometimes 3 times a month. There have been more snakes coming through these parts as of late, but
Do you
not
mean,
within the last
sorry,
month. Snake
when you say
people.
snake, do you mean, oh, snake people? Right. Okay.
There are many, many snakes in this jungle. I'm sorry if you were talking about snakes. I can tell you about
No,
all the many snakes I have seen.
thank you. That would be a wonderful conversation, but I'm specifically asking for the folks. I'll come back later and we can talk about snakes. That sounds fun.
That sounds like a lovely afternoon.
Really does. I look around the group. Does anyone want me to talk to the tree? Anything you want me to say to the tree before I hang up?
But I guess just tell him he's doing a bang-up job.
Thank you, sir, very much for your guidance and your wisdom. You have no idea how much we appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
See one of the branches kind of swing down a little bit, like touch your hand or your shoulder. Say, blessings on your journey, Alex of Ozeon. And then it kind of shifts back and turns into a normal tree again.
We don't want to go anywhere near the water. There's something very dangerous in there, and apparently it produces undead skeletons that walk back into the jungle. So let's go the jungle way.
Sounds like a plan.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Jungle it is.
One other thing. I did ask him about the snake folk. He hasn't seen any recently, but he's seen a few come here. Not within the last month, but I figured it was worth asking. Keeping tabs and all that.
I
Okay.
look up a tree and I say, "Thank you, tree."
I salute the tree.
Cast fireball.
I do. I put my hand on the tree and cast Druid craft so that like a circle of flowers just kind of sprouts around the base of the tree.
All right. So you guys are going the jungle ways. We'll continue. Ignatius, if you could roll me a encounter roll, please, a d12.
Is it gonna help here?
5.
Okay. So heading back into the jungle, avoiding the side of the Nasi wastes. It's a relatively uneventful day, which is always good in the jungle. Garathor, you see some nice vines that can be cut, and you know that there's fresh water in there. And you're able make a survival check, Garathor. I'm assuming you're hunting as usual, or kind of scat foraging.
Yes, foraging and
With-
hunting would be beneficial. Survival. Oof.
All right. You find some odds and ends of nuts and some things to forage. Nothing really, no success with the hunting today.
Gotcha.
But nuts and berries enough to complement your meal. I would say, yeah, you're still. We'll add that to kind of like an accumulative ration eventually, but it's not enough to form a ration.
Nice jungle trail mix.
Hmm.
Exactly.
No M&Ms. I don't
All
want
right.
any.
Eventually, evening sets in. You guys set up camp. Garathor kind of taking the lead again, and just knowing how to set up the two rain catchers and doing all the usual stuff to stay safe at night. And I'm assuming you guys take watch, and nothing happens through the night, and you awake the next day and can go on to day 2. Go
I
ahead.
just want it to be said that like probably every night from now on, Alex is spending 1 or 2 hours a night reading the Zolo's guide.
Okay.
Zolo's guide with specific
you-
emphasis on the hags.
Do you have any means of light? read?
Druidcraft, I can produce a flame.
Okay. If so, with some repeated druid craft, you can kind of have a dim light for reading for an hour, but you have to cast it a lot, so it's kind of
Need some
annoying.
light,
But
Alex. I can get some light going on for you.
You can. That would be actually very helpful.
Yes. For 1 hour, I just find a like a stone, like a medium-sized stone, and I cast light, the light cantrip. So at least for an hour, it's got bright light.
Thank you.
perfect.
Immensely helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Alex. Honestly, that book looks pretty shitty, as I figured it would be before we even bought it. But I'm happy you're taking interest in it. That's pretty cool.
What makes you say that? There's actually quite a lot of good information in here.
Is it
Well, they've got a whole chapter on the UNT.
really? I mean,
Yeah.
I just imagined it'd be a bunch of drunk ramblings.
You know, the most smart and artistic people lead the saddest lives, which quite often leads to alcoholism. So I would never judge folks that drink too much. You never know what's going on in their brains.
Just takes a
Interesting.
drink.
And she takes a drink.
Well, the only sense I got from Volo was that he's totally filthy and impure. So you may
Read a
be
chapter.
right, but ultimately Kasuth will be the judge.
Well, if you ever want to read a chapter, you let me know, and I'll let you know when I find about it, the UNT and the.
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna-
How about you just let me know? I've never really been interested in books outside of the one Dad wrote, but if we knew some weaknesses about the snake folks, that would be really great information.
I'll study that tonight specifically, and I'll let you know in the morning. Or in a few days. It's a long chapter.
All right. Sounds good. Good night, Alex.
I would just like
Good
it to
night,
be
Ignatius.
known that I took these nuts and I toasted them with rosemary and epazote. And then I put them over the mixed greens with
Wow.
I take some breadcrumbs as well in that toasting process. So yeah, we have a very herbaceous salad. Aromatic.
Are you writing these down, Luke?
Some of them. I've done so many porridges, I kind of stopped. I kind of stopped doing the porridge recipes.
Somehow you make them interesting still. I can't imagine eating bland porridge every day, so yeah. Kaylie, I will say it's about 12 hours of reading to read the entire chapter of UNT. So you can mark off, I'll say 2 hours about to get a full night's sleep and keep up with the party. You have about 2 hours of downtime each of you.
Took me a few days, but sounds good.
Okay, you guys awake the next morning, and the jungle sounds, the crickets, everything's already kind of up and active, and the first light is kind of starting to illuminate the dark jungle through the canopy a little bit, and the day is yours.
Ignatius, at some point, I need you to teach me how to be a morning person.
Well, to be honest, Iranae, before I took this symbol right here, I wasn't much of a morning person. So I could help you with that.
You know, I don't know if Timora would appreciate it. I'm gonna be honest.
All right. Well, maybe another time, Mora.
Jeez. Oh. Eh. All right, who's leading?
I'll lead the way again if you guys have no objection.
No objections here. I will take the rear.
All right, need a survival and an encounter roll, please.
I'll take
Fine.
it exactly in the middle.
There
Cast
is
guidance
no
on you
exactly.
immediately.
I'm going to re-roll with a lucky point so I don't let my group down.
Okay.
And here is an encounter roll. 10.
But we fighting gorillas.
Make a
Might be a unicorn
perception.
bunny.
Make a perception check for me.
Nat 20.
27.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You are. It's funny, Luke, that you said a gorilla because that is exactly what I was thinking.
Well, we
I
passed.
can't make it that would have been
Well,
fun.
no,
the zombie
we
gorillas
passed by
yet.
the zombie gorillas last time because we got
I
a nat 20
know,
on
I've been hanging
perception.
on that,
Oh,
I
don't.
am gonna say
I have not forgot
Ignatius,
that looking at that thing.
with that perception roll that you hear kind of a smashing, like a poof, 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 poof,
Whoa, hold up,
and then
everybody.
like a.
Take cover. Draw arms. I'm whispering loudly.
I pull out my book and I start drawing
It does.
arms.
Up ahead, you see this massive, huge, four-armed gorilla, and it seems to be. It doesn't seem to notice you yet, and it is. Parts of it is like its face is melted off. You can see its bone structure. By the normal standards of you being a cleric and familiar with the undead, it is definitely undead. It's actually the same creature that you saw before you fought that tree.
It's in the player handout. We'll recognize it as the Giralon zombie.
The Gorillon, yeah. So you
It's
see
trying to
this up
hide,
ahead,
yeah?
and it seems to be heading not directly at you, and it doesn't seem to notice, but it is heading kind of like it is. It might get a little bit closer to you before it heads off into the jungle.
Are we visibly behind cover? Like, are we hidden for...
That's up to you.
I
As
would
of right
like-
now, you just saw it, and you're not stealthed or behind cover or anything. There's
Yeah.
just some trees in the way. It's pretty
Everybody
dense here.
take cover. Get behind a log.
I hide.
Yeah, I would like to hide as well.
I'm just letting you know that I'm naturally camouflaged in the jungle because I'm green.
If you are, so am I.
Hey, you didn't
All
declare
right.
your skin color. I declared myself green at the beginning of this campaign.
I have an actual picture of my character. I am lime green.
Okay.
All four of you, please roll a stealth check.
Sorry, guys, in advance.
I'll cast guidance on myself. 'Cause I think I'm the only one around.
Fuck. We're fighting a gorilla, guys.
So you guys are being quiet. This zombie does not have much perception. Actually, I do have to roll. Do that. As it is moving along, you hear it crunching, kind of looking to the left and right, stopping. It is very loud, and pretty obvious that it's there. You hear kind of all of the nature, the surrounding birds and crickets kind of quiet down. as this thing lumbers through. Ignatius, your back is up against a tree, and you're trying to be quiet as best you can, but your leg kind of slips a little bit, and you hit a twig, and you hear a snap, and the zombie like immediately just reacts and looks. Doesn't really see anything, but starts making its way over towards your direction. Getting closer.
May I take a dagger from my belt and toss it a different direction into the jungle?
You may. Make just a attack roll or dexterity check, either one.
That would be an 11.
Okay. I mean, it's not hard. I think the question is, like, in order to distract it, you have to have some accuracy to see how far it gets. Like, you don't want to hit a tree that's near you. So, you're about in the mid range here. Well, +7, yeah. You throw it, and it gets far enough that it's away from where you guys are, but it's not like a huge throw off in the distance where it would redirect it completely. You kind of hit some bushes away from you, about, let's say, 40 feet away from you, about in the other direction. So it once again reacts, and actually you see it start to move, actually a little bit quicker towards where you threw the dagger. It's going to be in about 5 seconds, about 40 feet away from you.
Do we run?
How many trees are around us?
It's relatively thick jungle.
And
There's trees everywhere.
all right, guys, fight or flight. Fight or flight.
I think it's a
I
good
can't
idea to
hear
fight right now. I
Let's
think we can.
get the
It
hell
starts
out
to
of here.
scan.
Let's go, let's back up.
All right, we are going to try to remove ourselves from this situation.
All right, one more stealth check, all of you. This is kind of
Guidance on myself again.
Before we do the stealth check, I'm gonna cast silence in the space between us and the giant gorilla, and so no sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere. So even if he does hear, it should be at least disorienting from our particular path backwards.
everything within that 20-foot sphere is completely silent.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And I don't think sound can go through it either.
No sound can be
Okay.
created within or pass through.
Well, you guys can all have advantage on your stealth checks.
Hey!
That's way better.
Oh!
Okay, that's not the roll, and I'm still gonna do guidance as well.
Is guidance verbal?
Yeah, but we're in the silent.
Oh,
no.
yeah. All right.
Well,
Okay.
you're not in the silent. If you were in the silent, you couldn't casting a
Couldn't
spell
cast
which
it.
includes a verbal component is impossible.
Right. And that might come into play later when you cast that spell as well. Okay.
guess I
So
11.
no guidance. But still, your checks are good enough. I'm gonna roll perception actually. 15.
Guys, I actually rolled a good stealth roll as a rogue.
I'm gonna
Mhm.
go with a group check here. It was a decent perception roll, but
Does he have disadvantage at all? Any sound towards our direction would be like from a different direction based on his perception.
right. You guys are completely silent, so I wouldn't say he's at disadvantage, but I'm gonna say based on your group check, it's just you guys generally did well. That with the help of that spell, you guys are able to escape without attracting his attention. However, as you are leaving, like you guys are kind of bolting through this quiet part and off into the woods, trying to be somewhat quietly but also quick. You do hear it kind of like one of you hits a twig and you hear it like kind of running after you again, but then you hear the noise, like you hear it still smashing things and running. It's getting closer to you and then further and then further, and it seems to have charged in the wrong direction. So, all right, you guys avoided the zombie monkey for the second time. One of these times this campaign, you are gonna fight that.
You will fight this monkey. I'm making a DM statement now.
It just looks awesome. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that
Good-
was close.
Good job on the
Ooh.
encounter. All right. Quick thinking. So, you guys continue your journey into the woods or into the jungle.
Into the woods.
You know, you are getting maybe it goes to like 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, and you're getting kind of close to where Nangalore is on the map, and you're thinking you're going to arrive there sometime soon. All of a sudden, it starts to rain. And you see, you're used to light rain in the jungle. But as 10, 20 minutes go on, the rain gets heavier, and you're still moving, making your way forward. The rain gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And pretty soon, you hear lightning off in the distance, which seems to be getting closer and closer.
Really should have thought to pack a fucking poncho, eh?
I'm like just kind of laughing because I've got my fur armor, my very barbarian style. Like I'm definitely covered. Hey, this should at least cover our entrance into Nangalore, being that this is supposed to be a relatively dangerous place.
Right.
Do we
That's the truth.
do we want to enter in through the night to try to keep this rain and lightning to our advantage and the cover of darkness?
Paul, can I do a check and see if this storm is natural or if this storm is magically influenced at all?
Sure, using Druidcraft.
Using my druid intuition, so I guess that would probably be a nature check or something like that. Being a druid of the water.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, go ahead and make a nature check.
Give myself guidance.
Okay.
Is guidance a cantrip for you?
It is a cantrip, yes.
Copy.
6.
It's hard to tell. I mean, it seems like it's real rain, and the thunder seems as real as ever. Like, it's definitely wet and loud and has all the familiar symptoms of a thunderstorm.
Cool. Guys, it's raining.
No,
I knew you were
shit.
I knew you were familiar with nature.
Over the next
Druids,
10
man.
minutes, things are you guys are still pressing forward, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I would like
Yes.
to take my rain catcher and try and rig it up kind of like a waterproof cape
You can
while
definitely
we're
do that.
marching.
Oh, I would like to kind of make a little bit of a harness on my body with my hempen rope, and then I would like to fasten that to the my immovable rod,
Okay.
and have like about 10 feet of rope from connected to my body to the immovable rod.
Okay.
Copy.
Noted. After 10 minutes of trying to press forward in this, go ahead, Ignatius.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, a little rain never hurt anybody, guys. It actually kind of feels good. It's so damn muggy all the time in this damned jungle. It's kind of refreshing.
It's actually
it
a
have
good
that fresh
question.
rain
Is it
smell?
cold? Is it cold rain?
It is cold. And put this to the volume of your choosing. But after about 10 minutes of pushing forward, it turns into a full-blown tropical storm.
Oh shit.
All
Which
right,
you
guys.
have not really encountered one to this degree on Chult yet. You've had a lot of rain and rain, but the lightning is getting intense. The wind is starting to whip, and vision is becoming extremely obscured. It's like sheets of water that are starting
Yeah.
to hit you by now.
We need
It's
to find a
very
place to hold
difficult to
up,
go
guys.
forward.
All right.
What do we have for shelter? Do we have anything we can set up quickly? Or do we need to look for like a cave or something?
I mean, depending on how muddy it is, we could open the freaking boat.
Can we see Nangalore?
No, you see jungle right now.
I could also do that. to
Actually, what you
temperature
mainly see
again.
right now, as you're kind of looking forward, is sheets of rain. It's even like obscuring the jungle, which was already thick. Yeah, Alex?
I could try to talk to the trees again. I can't get them to do anything major, but I might be able to convince them to move their branches a bit and make us a bit of shelter.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
I mean, we can look for a cave first and use that as a last resort, but it's an option.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well-
I could. Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Gareth.
Is there like a lot of branches and stuff all over the ground? Like, can I do a perception check to see if I'd be able to find big palm branches or?
Sure. Like to fashion a shelter?
Yeah.
Make a survival check, actually.
With advantage, right?
Why?
I'm just joking.
Dang, Axl Rose might have been right about this one, guys.
No, I look over. I'm like, yeah, Axl Rose might have been right, but
Lightning strikes right above you guys. Crack! It's deafening.
well, it is a very good thing that Dad wrote that chapter.
Hey, don't we? What chapter are you talking about?
It was about shelters. What was it called? What was it?
I don't know. Was that even in the human translation?
Well, he taught us how to make shelters, but I'll have to look into his book to refine the chapter. But we do know how to make a shelter, brother.
Well, didn't he say something like? I am remembering it now. He said like, if there's already rain, finding shelter is a pain.
Crafting shelter is a pain.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the exact words.
So,
Yes.
While these two are talking, I'm just going to go ahead and go to a tree with a lot of branches and just very quickly touch it and be like, hi, quick question. Do you mind lowering the branches down a little bit lower and tighter and just kind of give us a little bit of a roof?
You're casting the spell. Speak with plants again.
Your branch for me.
Oh, we lost you, Kaylie.
Oh, you did?
No.
Oh,
I
go
got
ahead.
Kaylie.
Oh, sorry. I just had a chop.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
No, I did not.
I would like to ask the tree to make shelter for us because in the spell it does say that I can try to convince plant matter to bend their branches for us. I'll see if I can send that to you. So I'm just going to try to convince the tree to give us some shelter.
Don't we
Okay.
have some sort of tiny hut, by the way?
We do, don't we? We have a spell for that. We have the scroll, don't we?
Would now be a good time for that? I don't remember what it was or what it does exactly.
Lightning cracks again and illuminates the sky. It seems to be getting more and more intense, even though you are not moving. And all of a sudden, lightning cracks in the sky. It literally deafens your characters, and you see one of the trees next to you explode in fire as it has just been struck by lightning, and you see the tree like crack and start to fall apart and explode start to burn within even the rain itself.
All right, yeah. If we've got something for this, let's fucking do it.
Who
Or
knows
keep
that
moving.
someone does have a scroll of Leomund's tiny hut. I don't know who has it though.
I only have the scroll of learn to speak.
It's probably Ignatius that has it.
I don't have a
Yeah, I
scroll
think
for that.
Ignatius has it.
We had 2 scrolls. Did somebody not ever write it down in their inventory?
It was a time when Alex wasn't
Another
there.
burst of lightning comes down
Well,
from the
DM,
sky.
do you want to help us because we're clearly like trying to figure this out outside of game?
I know, yeah, but at the same time, I'm trying to roll on the plot. So if you want to do something decisive, say it now.
Yeah, we want to
otherwise
use
I'm gonna-
Demon's Tiny Hut scroll, but we're just trying to remember who has it or when we receive this.
Right, I'm
thing.
assuming your
I-
characters are like digging and like, oh, who's got that? Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So,
I know I
a
don't
giant-
take scrolls because I can't use magic.
A giant bolt of lightning lands right in the middle of your group and spreads apart and hits all 4 of you.
Does it look like this lightning is targeting us?
Make a Arcana check.
Oh, this can't go terrible, guys. You know, me and my Arcana.
It's hard to tell as the lightning runs out of the sky and arcs into all of your bodies.
Written down
You
here,
each
Wakanga gave a scroll.
You each take 54 points of damage from the lightning as it strikes
Fuck.
each of you.
No dex save or anything?
No save.
Came down.
The lightning pulses through your body, and you guys feel the most intense pain you've ever felt in your entire life.
I would like to see who's alive still.
Unconscious.
I'm unconscious.
I
Alex, are you up?
I am not, but I did just probably find the scroll because it just wrote down. I just found the thing, so I probably have it in my hand.
She had it in her hand, and now it's yeah.
um,
Yeah.
She's on the.
Can I grab this scroll and start reading it?
I believe you have to be an arcane spellcaster to utilize a scroll.
Really?
Start.
No, I think
Yep.
we determined last time that wasn't the case.
I think it is. I think
Paul,
anyone
can
use
I
it.
read the scroll?
As you're reading the scroll and trying to figure out like if you can cast it or not, another bolt of lightning falls out of the sky and hits you specifically, Garathor, not even all of your body.
So I kind of like I see it coming down. I'm like, oh shit, this is deliberate. Fuck.
And you take 46 points of damage.
Oh, that's-
All of you take a death save as well.
Well, either this is just a TPK or this is intentional.
I am hoping intentional.
Blackness takes all of you. You start to feel, well, I guess you don't feel anything, but from an overhead view, your bodies start to sink into the mud. The lightning is still crashing in the sky. And you all fade to black. And I need all of you to leave the table except for Ignatius.
Yay. How long, just quick question, how long do you think these intervals are gonna be? Because my neighbor has dinner ready for me across the street.
I would say probably 5 to 10 minutes per. There's just 2 of you.
Okay. Am I one of them, or do you not want to release that information yet?
You are not one.
Okay, so I am gonna go grab dinner across the street.
Okay.
I got my phone on.
All right. All of you, please keep your phones on you.
Yep.
I don't like it.
Text. I'm going to text Luke and Alex and tell them what they should be doing in a minute here. Okay.
I'm convinced, Paul, you're just like, no distractions. We're moving to Curse of Strahd. We can't have 2 campaigns going on.
Oh, yeah. I'm not quite that mean. I could just like no rolls or saves. It's just a TPK. No, I'm not quite that.
Gotta clear the schedule.
Right. Make way. I'm done. That's my way of saying I'm done. So, as darkness takes Ignatius, slowly you come to consciousness. The realm, the place you are is familiar. As you look around, it seems to be the familiar meadows on the outskirts of the orc village that you grew up in. Familiar smells start to take you, and you feel somewhat comforted as you come to grips that for some really strange and bizarre reason, coming out of this horrible rainstorm and jungle and searing pain, you find yourself at home. The reality seems a little bit bizarre. You feel like you're somewhere in between a real world and a dream world. Like things move a little bit hazy and slow as you look at your hands and kind of maybe try to pinch yourself a little bit and wake up. You're like, where am I? What is this place? As you scan around, you see the orc village that you grew up in off in the distance. You see some other familiar trees and sites that you used to play on as a child. And as you turn your head further and see a giant tree, one that you had a lot of great memories with growing up, you and Garathor used to play on it together. He used to push you off the branches and try to show his strength. But near this tree, coming from around the corner, you see a strange, yet all so familiar sight of a silver dragonborn woman. And she approaches you. Ignatius, or previously Timothy, recognizes this person as Dashila.
Yes.
Slowly, she is making her way up to you.
This must be a dream. I am rooted in place. I will allow her to approach and just look stunned.
All right. She makes her way up. She has the same face as you remember. A very loving, kind face. One that raised you. One that you could trust with your life. One that helped you learn many things in your childhood and formed you into the person that you became. As she nears, she begins to speak in Draconic, which was one of the languages she taught you as a child. She says in that familiar, warming language, Ignatius, how are you?
All things considered, I'm okay. What is this? What is this place? I haven't seen you since I was just a little boy.
She chuckles a little bit. Do you know who I am?
Of course. You were there for me every day when I was a child.
She laughs again.
What happened to you?
this form pleasing to you, Ignatius?
It's a little unsettling. I take it without an insight roll. It's not my nanny.
Would you prefer this? And you see a snap of a finger, and all of a sudden, your father is in front of you.
No, honestly, please reveal yourself. That would be my preference.
She snaps her finger again and goes back to the nanny, to Sheila, and says, Ignatius, you don't recognize me. It is I, Kasuth.
My lord, why have you brought me to this space? And why the disguises? I take a knee also.
She says, well, this is not a disguise. I mean, if you were to see me in real life, you would be incinerated immediately. But I approach my followers in many forms. This is quite standard for me. It appears that for some reason, wherever you are and have been adventuring, wherever you have brought yourself has been some kind of a realm which borders and blurs the lines between reality and dreaming. If you remember, when I first encountered you, it was in a vision. So, by some of the magics of Chult, we are able to share this time. It appears. It surprised even me.
Well, it is my great honor. Have I pleased you since we last spoke?
She chuckles. Ignatius, you are one of my favorite followers. I see much potential in you. It has been a joy to watch you grow in strength and in wisdom. You have become a fine young man.
Well, thank you. I try every single day to be better than I was the last.
Well, I'm not sure how long we have with this gift, this time we have been blessed with. Is there anything you would like to know?
So many things. Firstly, just burning away with curiosity. Do you know the priestess Quiethe in Port Nyanzaru?
She chuckles and says, yes, of course.
Is that you speaking through the flames? You sound so different.
Koyothe is on her own path, which is very different from yours. It's a little complicated to understand the wisdom of gods, and I cannot explain to you all my logic and rationale of the vast variety of differences between the followers of Kasuth, but that is not me speaking. That is a cheap trick, actually. She has a ring of fire elemental control, and she has actually imprisoned one of the fire elementals below her villa. Actually, if you get back to Port Nyanzaru, I would ask that you free one of these friends of mine.
I will do it. And what shall I do with the worshiper of false idols, my lord? Does she need to be destroyed?
I did not say that. Koyathe is a follower just as you are. A little ambitious and misguided, but she doesn't listen very well, not like you. Nevertheless, she is a follower. I believe because of the very different paths you guys have set yourselves on, that between the two of you, you cannot both exist and have power within this island under the banner of Kasuth, but eventually it will have to be just one of you that remains. One of your versions of my worship.
I will see to it that she comes along the righteous path, my lord.
Very well.
How will we defeat this evil Rosnasi, my lord? What will it take? Do we stand any chance?
I know many things. This I can assure you, that Rosnasi is the least of your worries. The eyes of the gods themselves have turned upon Chult. Something much greater is at play here. Something that is capable of shrouding itself even from the gods themselves.
Well,
A great
surely
evil
smite the darkness. You can rain fire from above. You can obliterate it all. You can purify the land with one wave of your hand. I'm sure of it.
That I can. Unfortunately, the gods and their interactions with the human realms are of a bit of an agreement, an unspoken agreement. Some of it spoken, actually. If I was to intervene like that, it might cause a domino effect with the other gods. Of course, I could, if it came to that, but perhaps we will see some divine interaction within the gods themselves very soon. Who knows?
Very well. My lord, I seek to end this curse among the land and resurrect these pillars of flame all across this island. Tell me, would that satisfy you?
Oh, my dear child Ignatius, that would greatly satisfy me. I love all of the ideas, the parades, the structures, the monuments to Kasuth, the purifying. It has been a joy to watch you spread Kasuth across this island in ways that I never even imagined myself.
That's amazing. I'm so happy you saw that parade. I'm really proud of that one.
She chuckles again. Yes. There is something. While you are purifying and converting and spreading the wonder and will of Kasuth, and you have to many people, I just want you to know that it has been one of my greatest joys to see your own heart purify and your own heart grow into the will of Kasuth, to embody the light and the fire that the will of Kasuth brings with it. It is also a great joy for me to see you change the hearts of others. As I have watched you, I have observed a great dedication to marking people with the mark of Kasuth and spreading that mark to as many bodies as possible. Just so you know, I do appreciate having marked followers, and it does please me and bring me joy. But my greatest joy is to see the hearts turn, the hearts purify, and the hearts open. And when you see that, when you are able to change their hearts, Ignatius, that is when they will ask you for the tattoo, the mark of Kasuth themselves. That is what I truly wish to see. Do you understand?
I think I do. And all these things you've said to me, I take it as the greatest compliments I could receive. Am I gonna
All
die
right.
today? I just got struck by lightning. It hurt pretty bad.
She chuckles again, says, "No. When you awaken, you will be in a place on Chult, but in some way far from where you were. Be careful, young Ignatius. And remember, I am with you."
Thank you, my lord. Until we meet again.
You see the vision start to blur a little bit, and slowly you fade once again to blackness. Your eyes open, and you are on fresh green grass with crickets chirping, or birds and crickets both chirping insect noises. And it seems to be a pleasant kind of environment that you're waking up to. And that's where we will leave off you. Luke, you're back? Is he
Kaylie has on mute.
okay? Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna text Kaylie really quick.
All right. I
All
will
right.
take about a 10-minute break myself. Does that sound okay?
That's fine. Yeah. Let's
Perfect.
reconvene at about 8:15.
Sounds good.
All right.
Whoo!
Hi, Kaylie.
What happened without me?
Luke and Alex are just sitting at their desk, but I don't believe that they're listening.
Oh, got it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, or at least they're not responding. Maybe they are listening. Who knows? um. All right. So
Okay.
as you have warped out of this lightning strike where you thought you were dead, your eyes went to black. Slowly, your eyes open. You don't feel any pain or electricity surging through your body anymore. You look down. You're not singed. You seem to be in full health. Uh, However, the place that you are in is very dark, and it seems to be a small room. Stone. There's a couple like dimly lit torches on the wall, but it's very. It smells like you're deep below the earth. Like you can feel kind of a heaviness about the air. And as you look around, you just notice these kind of dim lit torches. It's a very different place from where you were.
Okay. Um, can I go up? Do the torches come off the walls? Can I take one down?
You can grab a
Okay.
torch off the wall and start to look at the room a little bit. You scan the room. You don't see any doors. You don't see any windows. Something catches your eye up in the corner. You don't need the torch to see this, but a pair of eyes, red eye, or kind of some orangish, flaming, flickering eyes, are up in the corner, and You recognize this pair of eyes. How could you forget? It's the same pair of eyes that you saw in Nanny Poo-Poo's hut. And once again, it sits there in the corner, just looking, silent, staring.
I'm actually going to make a roll because I don't know whether or not Alex would be calm or aggressive. Three. Okay. I am going to look up at the eyes, scream, and cast poison spray.
All right. Make it to hit roll. Or it's a save, right?
No, yes, they need to make a Constitution saving throw. They need to beat a 13.
Okay. Well, with no bonuses. However,
They succeed.
yeah.
Yep.
So you shoot a spray of poison up in the air, and you don't feel like there was any impact necessarily. In fact, the eyes are just gone out of the corner, and you're like, "Where'd they go?" And you hear a cackle from another corner of the room.
I want to turn and face it and
Wow.
hold my quarterstaff up.
Hello, Alex.
Fuck are
Have you
you?
missed me?
I go with my quarterstaff to go slap them.
All right, make an attack roll.
I don't make attack rolls that often. What do I do here? Plus
Roll a d20.
4 to hit. Oh wow, 22.
All right.
And it's
Uh,
1d8.
Your staff, where you feel like you would connect with the hag, it's a perfectly timed hit, and all of a sudden the hag is gone, and in another corner of the room as you turn. It seems like it just vanishes straight out the side of the room and then appears somewhere else. Like it almost sinks back into the wall. Like it can move through solid objects themselves. As it comes out of the wall a little bit further away, like in the opposite corner of the room, and the eyes just glare at you once again. It says, "So tasty, this soul. So tasty. Shall I eat it, or shall I feed it to my child? So many choices. So many choices."
Fuck T1.
I want this. And she fades back through the wall. And all of a sudden, everything goes black.
Oh
And you
god.
wake up.
Oh damn it. Paul, it's so rude. I love it.
All four of your characters open their eyes after feeling like you could be dead. You wake up. You're on the banks of some kind of a structure. Uh, you see some elephant heads and decorations. Everything seems calm to kind of juxtapose where you came from and the intensity of the storm and the lightning being like electricity coursing through your body. All of a sudden, insects. Actually, I have this last little bit. Here's another YouTube.
Another YouTube.
There is an Angalor.
Uh-oh.
It is peaceful. You guys all awaken at the same time. How the hell did you get here? You have no idea.
Are we all next to each other?
As soon
You are.
as Alex wakes up, she bolts up and grabs her staff, starts spinning, looking, trying to see if what she saw is still there.
Make a perception check.
Come on. I clicked it, I promise.
It seems like you are in a brand new place, and as you kind of poke your staff, trying to hit something, seems like whatever was there is gone.
On a scale of 1 to 65, how healthy do you think I feel?
You are all at full health.
Okay. Do I feel in pain?
You do not. You feel like you have just undergone a traumatic psychological experience, but no physical pain remains.
I lean up and I grip my head. I'm like, is everyone here?
Oh,
Does anyone else feel
get
like
here.
does anyone else feel like they just got hit by an emotional lightning bolt?
I feel like I just got hit by a fucking real lightning bolt. Jesus.
What happened? What
Yes,
happened?
we definitely have the answer for that right now, Alex. Oh God.
No, I mean, like, I know what I saw. No one else was there. What happened to you? Where were you?
I think I was dreaming. I reach my pocket. I'm like, nope, it's still gone. Oh.
I was at home. I was at Jonestown in the grassy fields, Garathor, where we used to play.
You were actually in the grassy fields, or you dreamed you were there?
Must have been a dream.
Oh, what I would give to be home right now. And like I kind of fall back down and like, you know, have my eyes closed.
Well, this place doesn't look too bad. This must be Nangalore.
I think that's a bit of a stretch to make that assumption.
Based
All right.
on, based on the descriptions, does it appear to be Nangalore?
Did we know what the description of Nanglar was? Didn't like no one ever come back from there? When we not have any idea what it looks like?
Beautiful gardens and things.
That's what it was created historically as a tribute to the queen. It was a beautiful hanging gardens.
Are we
It,
at beautiful
as
hanging
you kind of
gardens?
scan around, it does fit the bill of something that was created as a tribute to someone. It seems a little bit in disarray, like there's vines on things, and it seems very old. But it fits kind of your understanding of what a hanging gardens would be, just based on an initial survey.
Guys, I don't like this.
What did you see, Alex? You seem a bit rattled.
Do you all remember Nanny Poo Poo? You remember the hut?
Yep.
And you remember when I called lightning down onto it because the hag stole my mother? I
How could we
saw
forget?
her.
Yeah.
Saw the hag. She's got my mom, and I don't think my mom's going to be around much longer if we don't hurry.
Seems like all of us are losing parents here pretty quickly. What'd you see at Jonestown, brother?
Well, I saw the dragonborn woman who raised me that you never met. and she transformed into a image of our father. And it turns out it was just Kasuth in disguise coming to talk with me about some things. I don't want to cast even more shadows on our group and our missions, but he did say that Rosnacy is perhaps the least of our worries. Whatever that might mean.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know what that means.
He did say that there are many eyes upon us at the moment. The gods are watching.
Did he mention Dendar?
No. But we are of keen interest, and the happenings here in general are as well.
Did he mention Ubtail?
No, brother.
And the gods you speak of, were these the trickster gods, or were these the gods on the plains of Kasuth?
I didn't press him for further details. It was kind of it wasn't that kind of conversation. I wish we had had more time. I would have asked more questions. He did say he saw our parade of Kasuth. He was really excited about it. I was like, thank goodness, because that was a badass parade. You guys remember that? Seems so long ago.
How could we forget? Well, let's find out where the fuck we are, guys.
Iranae.
Yeah.
You're right. Very quiet.
Yeah, sorry, just a lot of memory. Let's fucking figure out where we are.
It's hard to imagine that a place so beautiful like this could be cursed, as they say.
Well, I'm assuming bad shit happens considering what just happened to us, so.
I mean, look at this place. Would you ever want to leave? It's better than the rest of this shithole island.
I mean, it's not on the ocean, so yeah, I'd want to leave. Can I do... Do I have any idea what just happened to us using my knowledge of magic of any kind? Can I tell if this was a curse, if this was a spell?
Make an Arcana check. It's DC 21.
I cast guidance on myself. I need to get a 17 or higher. Yeah, there's no way.
However, as you try to kind of process what happened and you start to take in where you are, as you guys start to wake up and try to get your bearings again, being back in what you hope is reality,
Hey, just a quick question. Alex is carrying the Liam's Tiny Hut scroll. Is that correct?
I have it now.
Future reference.
I have it now.
Or did
Alright.
you get struck down before you took it?
I had it in my hand when I got struck by lightning, so I've just
Yeah.
put it in my
Do you
house.
want to give it back or do you want to keep it?
I'm gonna keep it in my pocket.
Yeah, I think
Sorry,
Alex was
remember
kind of
where
the
it is.
default character for a lot of items, just carrying things. You might, as homework for the next 2 weeks, like divvy up stuff for just so people know at the ready who has what, and you just have access to it as a party, not necessarily who owns it, but you should probably divvy out the access to all that stuff if there is anything else.
Got it.
Oh, I got
We
everything
had
I
a-
need. I'm set.
Our DM just gave us homework.
moving.
Yeah, nope, not doing it. I've got my immovable staff and 2 scrolls. I'm cool.
The one thing. All right. As you guys look up in what you presume to be Nangalore, this beautiful area, a fantastic edifice rises out of the jungle. A hanging garden of exotic beauty. Water streams down the steps between 2 massive elephant carvings. Beyond them, a broad, flooded avenue runs arrow straight for more than 100 feet before ending at a carving of a Tyrannosaurus Rex face. Water pours from the Tyrannosaurus Rex's jaws and flows the length of the concourse to drain down in the steps in front of you. 5-foot-high terraces flank the boulevard. Low archways, 3 on each side, are built into the terrace walls. These archways are in various stages of collapse, as are the tunnels beyond them. Beautifully carved, larger-than-life stone faces are mounted between the arches. A wild profusion of plants grows on the upper terraces, and multicolored parrots and canaries flit and sing among them. To the north, a dilapidated brick dome rises above the Tyrannosaurus head waterspout. Smaller bell-shaped domes surmount the highest terrace to your left and to your right. And that is what you can see from the banks of Nangalore. On your first glance, it is a thing of beauty and wonder beyond the likes of anything your characters have ever seen. And as you take in this wonder, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Boom.
Cliffhanger!